and welcome to the third video. This is the second fanfiction video that we're filming tonight. That's where we're wearing all the same stuff. I did switch out the stuffy though, so, I mean. We're getting to the spicy stuff in the fanfiction. Nothing really happened in the last chapter. They went to a snowy forest, and Lillian passed out again.
I was more invested in our backyardigans discussion.
Yeah, I'll link. We talked about backyardigans for 12 solid minutes, so I'll link that.
Is it gonna be in the corner?
I'll probably be in the corner.
I'm not gonna move my head. I'm scared of bumping again.
It'll be in one of these corners, so you can check that out if you want. Be warned, it is us ranting about backyardigans for about 12 minutes.
And if, you didn't know what we were talking about, you would not have a good time.
Alright, we're getting to one of my favorite chapters in this book.
Is the elf coming?
The elf is coming, finally!
Wait, I was just guessing.
Yes! You guessed right. Congratulations, this is the first time you've guessed right in, this entire thing. Well, except when when you guessed that she died, but...
That was an accident, and I'm still
Well, wasn't this
shook.
time an accident? Alright. I'll give a disclaimer. This book is a lot self-insert. So I very much saw myself as Lillian. Because of this, the character that's coming up in this chapter was, at the time, my ideal partner. So you're about to learn a lot about 14-year-old Grace in this chapter.
Oh my gosh.
It's gonna be rough. We're gonna have a good time. My future husband, if you ever watch this, I am so sorry.
This is what you need to be.
No, my tastes have changed. Some stuff stands true, but this is not.
I'm gonna read this particular chapter at your wedding. Ooh.
This is just your entire maid of honor speech.
This is my maid of honor speech. It's 14-year-old Grace's writing.
Okay, let's read this chapter.
Maybe I'm too hydrated.
I'm so excited about this chapter. Okay. Chapter 8, Elven Rescue.
I'm seeing it as this weird teen romance novel. I'm Elven Rescue.
She doesn't fall in love with this particular elf, but this elf was what I was into.
She needs to marry Butter. Okay, that's Margin, and his name reminds me of Margarine.
What a stretch!
It's still in my brain. I've been thinking of him.
Excuse me.
Roar! Get out. I've been thinking of him as Butter.
Okay.
And I just now made that connection.
Okay.
It's gonna be okay. Maybe. We'll see.
Probably not.
Read the book.
Agella awoke to Macon shaking her. Your turn, he whispered. Agella sat up sleepily and yawned. She looked around quickly and found Elot was missing again. Shrugging it off, she stood up and looked at Lillian lying on the pine needle, still unconscious. She's been having fits in her sleep, Macon said to Agella worriedly, as if she's fighting something. She keeps saying, the ring, and no, I won't let you, over and over again. I can't find Elot. He woke me up and then disappeared. I'm getting really worried. Agella bit her lip. And now you have me worried too, she said, shivering. Macon laid down and pulled his cloak around him. Good luck, he said, and closed his eyes. Agella started to walk around the area to wake up a little bit, thinking hard about Lillian's unnatural situation. She was thinking so hard that she almost screamed when she heard a weak voice say, Agella? Agella jumped and whirled around and was extremely excited to see Lillian sitting up.
Go back. You have to say it weakly.
No.
Mm-hmm.
You can't make me.
Mm-hmm.
Lillian, she cried, coming toward her. Are you all right? I think I am, Lillian said shakily. The last thing I remember was falling off the pony, and then horrible dreams. Agella, the dreams! Someone was coming at me. I couldn't tell who, but he was clawing at me, trying to enter me, wanting the ring. Trying to enter me, wanting the ring. I could barely resist him.
First Lillian's giant hole, and now he is dreams, Adela.
The dreams. Angela, the dreams. The horrible dreams. Man, I thought I was edgy.
I thought you were cool, man. Oh. I guess I think that too when I write, but...
Ooh, I could barely resist him, and I heard the ring speaking to me, telling me to disappear with it, that it could make me warm again, that it could make me perfectly safe and happy. Oh, Angela, it was awful. I'm so
Escape
glad
with
I'm
me.
awake.
I can make you warm again. We can go back to your
This
giant
is
hole.
disgusting.
And then you
Lillian started
I can
to
enter you.
cry, fingering the lump in her pocket.
Now
that
it's
was the
fingering.
ring.
Oh gosh. You were so innocent.
Adela was sympathetic, even though she had no idea what Lillian was talking about. Lillian,
Neither do
that
I.
sounds awful. I'm just glad you're awake, she said, hugging Lillian.
What did I say earlier?
Lillian took a few deep breaths to stop crying, then looked around. Where are we? She asked uncertainly. It's a circle of trees that Macon found, Adela said. It makes pretty good shelter. Do you know what time it is? Lillian asked. Sometime early in the morning, Adela replied. It's still dark.
Helpful.
Oh gosh. Suddenly, they both heard a voice that they didn't recognize, speaking in a language that sounded elvish from what they understood. Lillian went white.
Just give it all away.
It's the voice in my dreams, she whispered. Hide.
Wait,
Adela
what?
crawled under the tree and pressed herself against the trunk. Lillian pulled out Sting and cautiously stood up. Wasn't she half dead a minute ago? The voice was calling in many different languages, some of which Lillian had never heard of. The sound of it was getting closer. The sound of it was getting louder and louder, and suddenly it said, hello, in the common language. It sounded friendly. Are you friend or foe? Lillian said cautiously. Friend, I hope.
Friend.
Where are you? The voice called. It sounded truly concerned. In the trees, Lillian replied warily. The voice had said it was a friend, and it sounded like one. Well, she felt as if she could trust it. I spell warily different ways, too.
Next is going to be like warily, like what you wear.
Warily, we roll along.
What?
There
What
was
does that have to do with anything.
I don't know.
What?
I've lost my mind. There was a faint rustling from outside the trees. Lillian gripped Sting tighter, just in case. Then suddenly, an elf burst through the circle of trees. Lillian could tell he was an elf because he was dressed very lightly, and his ears were like an elf's. Thank goodness I found you, he said, seeing him show off his head and hair.
Hairy, like an elf. They don't explain. You need to say they were pointy. You need to make that into like a, oh, who is this person? It was a man. No, wait, it couldn't be. His hair is too long and luxurious.
He must use really good conditioner.
I wanted to pet it.
Man, I do actually really want to touch Legolas's hair. Let's be real.
Let's be real. Like, with all the characters,
Or
there's
like
one
Galadriel.
thing you wanna
Galadriel's
do.
hair was like crimpy, and I want to just like run.
You want to go and like, you want to pet all the elves. You want to like hang out with Merry and Pippin, you know, get in some trouble. You want to sit and talk to like Bilbo and Frodo.
I just want Middle Earth to be real. Is that too much to ask?
Middle Earth. It is too much to ask.
He saw Sting in Lillian's hands and smiled. I won't harm you, he said. I know I must have given you a scare, shouting in all those languages. I didn't know what you spoke, so I tried them all. We're cutting this out.
Grace's future husband. You need to know a bunch of languages. If you only know one, you're not good enough. If you know two, you're not good enough. You need to know at least 3. You need to know English, hopefully. You need to know, like, French, maybe. And you need to know Norwegian. If you don't know Norwegian.
Swedish. So that when we go to IKEA, you can tell me what all of the furniture is.
Yeah, Swedish. Either that or you need to just, like, go learn Elvish, because that would be absolutely so useless. But it would be fun. You could, like, just start speaking in Elvish, and everyone would be like, haha.
What? Lillian slowly lowered Sting. Who are you? She asked carefully. Me, the elf laughed. Of course. I am Maklet, son of Shalom.
Well, duh. Of course it's me.
Maklet? son of, I think it's supposed to be Shalom, but I spell it Shalom.
Where?
Down here.
Shalom.
I think it's supposed, I don't know if it's Shalom or Shalom.
You should have just made his name like... I was gonna say Cocklet, that's not good.
We're gonna go with Shalom, because I
Or
think
like
that's funny.
Focklet, or... That's even worse. Chocolate. Like something that like...
Chocolate!
Chocolate! That should have been his name, because usually like they rhyme or something.
I heard my mother say that there were travelers in the winter's forest, which only happens every few hundred years, so I went to see who it was and what they were doing. If it's one of those creatures called orcs, I'll kill them. Lillian now noticed that the elf was...
I broke. I was meaning to do that, though.
Lillian now noticed that the elf was holding a large but agile-looking elven crossbow and had a quiver of arrows slung over his back. Couldn't be a bow and arrow because he's not Legolas.
Wait, he's got a crossbow?
He has a crossbow.
Okay. Keep in mind, he's not Legolas. So, also, Grace's future husband, number 2. You've got to be able to fire a crossbow.
That would be cool.
For the oncoming zombie apocalypse we will be facing.
You say that like it's a certainty.
Isn't it? Yeah, so you need to do that.
May I ask who you are? He said, and you don't have to hide, he added, looking at Angela with her back still pressed up against the tree trunk, and Macon and Margin, who had woken up in the commotion. Lillian took a deep breath and said, My name is Lillian Baggins, and these are my traveling companions, Angela, Macon, and Margin. We are also traveling with the wizard.
No last name.
Elot the Green. We were also traveling with a wizard, Elot the Green, that has disappeared somewhere we have no idea where.
Oh, he's probably a psycho killer, said not Legolas. You should run away from him.
It's not Legolas.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said he wasn't. You should have just called him that. That'd be easier.
Not Legolas.
Not Legolas.
Oh no. He does that, she added quickly, seeing the look on the elf's face, but she had misinterpreted the look. Did you say that you were traveling with Elot the Green? The elf asked in astonishment. Yes, Lillian said. She was beginning to feel like she had given too much information to this
psycho hobbit killer.
But the elf
He smelled.
Smellowed.
Listen to Grace's future husband, number 3. He must smellow.
But the elf smiled widely, showing perfect teeth.
All right, number 4. Where you gotta have perfect teeth.
Then I think that's more of just being an elf thing than being a person thing. I mean, I don't judge people based on their teeth.
He should be an elf too. Number 5.
If I judge people on their teeth, I'd think you were completely crazy.
My teeth are getting better.
Then I have succeeded, he exclaimed. I need to take you to my home, he said, kneeling so that he was eye to eye with Lillian. If you'll let me, of course. We will accept your offer, Lillian said carefully. But on the inside, she was extremely grateful to this elf. We will leave as soon as Elot gets back. Then you can leave now, said a voice, and Elot appeared from outside of the trees. The elf stood up, walked towards Elot, and said something in Elvish that Lillian couldn't understand. Elot answered back in Elvish, and they shared a brief embrace.
He's in on it.
The elf talked to Elot in Elvish for a bit, with Elot answering back at times before they both came back up to the hobbits. Pack up, Elot said, and I'll take my cloak back, Lillian. Lillian realized that what she had been sleeping under was Elot's cloak. She quickly picked it up from the ground and gave it back to the wizard. He pulled it on without even brushing it off. When everyone was
without even brushing
ready,
it off. Don't you know we're in quarantine?
He's quirky like that.
He's quirky like that. He doesn't brush things off after someone else has been sleeping on them. This is gross. Once again, he's trying to collect DNA for whatever reason.
When everyone was ready to leave, the elf led them through the forest. The wind and snow had died down some, making walking, and riding in Lillian's case, much easier. Lillian marveled at how the elf moved in the snow, walking almost on top of it, moving swiftly in elven slippers, and often having to stop and wait for the company. The way he moved was elegant but strong, nothing like the clumsy movements of a hobbit.
Grace's future husband, number 6. Elegant and strong.
Wait, tip number 6 or my 6th future husband?
This is tip number 6.
Okay, because I was about to say.
You are not Ramona Flowers, or whatever her name is.
Watching the elf move kept Lillian entertained for the entire time they were traveling that day. Same. All of a sudden, the snow and wind stopped completely. It got slightly warmer and lighter.
It's
and
another
suddenly,
thing for your husband.
Lily entertained.
You have to be able... Yeah, you have to be able to, like, just watch him walk on a treadmill or something.
All of a sudden, the snow and wind stopped completely. It got slightly warmer and lighter, and Lillian suddenly saw a house, not very big, but also not very small, standing not far from them. The elf smiled and said, "Welcome to my home, weary travelers."
So, weary traveler.
Ooh.
Wait, why did she get Baggins? Wait, this is another problem. I think she's related to the Sackville Baggins. I feel like she has to.
Yeah, probably. Alright, next chapter is my Council of Elrond chapter, where I kind of don't remember what happens, so it'll be an adventure.
So it's like really boring, and they basically talk about a bunch of Middle Earth history that no one really cares about.
Well, I think it's like this is what we're actually doing portion of the book.
Oh, it's like, hey, now we're cooking.
Now we're cooking gas.
Now we've got a thing happening.
Alrighty, well, this has been fun. I look forward to the next chapter, as should you. In case you missed all of the other ones and this is your first of all, why did you watch it all the way through if you have no clue what's going on?
Unless you're Grace's future husband.
Second of all, I'm
gonna find this and show your fiance this.
The playlist with all of the other episodes,
so
your fiance you can watch all of the rest of it and share in our pain. We've slowly been adding oil onto the dumpster fire that is this book.
I'm a dumpster fire. I relate to a dumpster fire on a physical and spiritual level.
That's really also on a appearance level. I
said physical.
Well, you can feel like a dumpster fire.
No, I said I am a dumpster fire.
All right. We're having a time.
Dumpster fire.
It's a time.
That's one of the things I like saying. I also like saying I feel like hell ran me over with a truck. Go watch our Backyardigans rant, even if you don't know what we're talking about.
Alright, well, thanks for watching this dumpster fire. We're having fun. We're having a good time. I can't wait to find out what happens next.
You wrote it. You should know.
I don't really remember it. I've kind of blocked it from my memory.
If you're just like, this is traumatizing, get it out of here.
Alright. Bye.
Bye-bye.